to the room, please don't forget to give us a little thumbs Friday, which is Thousand Pound Best Friends, Season 2, Episode 6, Wait, Women Can't Jump. All right, so Jamal, this was sort of an interesting episode for me because I see character development in one specific character. I see tenacity in another character, and the other two were just wasting my time.
I think we're kind of looking at it the same way, but I kind of have oh, how can I put it? Not a real revelation, but I had another thought about one particular character, and I was like, I'm very, I'm very curious because what I mean is, we'll just start with Megan. She's the one I'm talking about because, I'm gonna start at the end. Remember they were sitting down trying to talk to her about her wedding, right? And they kept bringing up to her like, "Hey, you don't seem excited. What's going on? Yada yada yada, right?" And they started breaking it down. And when they started breaking it down, I was like, oh my goodness, she's fallen into a trap. And I think what it is, they talked to her before, so this is not a new conversation. So I'm not gonna walk into like, they're just confronting her on this. No, they talked to her about this before. They've been friends for a long time, so they've all told her this before. She is waiting for him to catch up to her, and she's frustrated because he's not doing what she wants him to do, what she needs him to do. Now, was it Vanessa who said that you're waiting for him to change and it's not going to happen?
It was Ashley. Vanessa said, Ashley said, we're going to be here another 12 years and we're going to be talking about this again. And then someone said, how long are you going to wait? And Vanessa said 12 years and she got pissed.
But they're not wrong, though. They're not wrong. And here is why. People are not going to change for anyone else but themselves. And you've enabled this behavior for the last 12 years, so there's no incentive for him to change. And I think she's understanding that, and she's frustrated because she's starting to realize that either I marry him and help him, or I have to put myself on the market the way I am, and she's not confident in herself. So she would honestly, this is where her self-esteem is, in my opinion. She would rather stay with someone else. She would rather stay with him and know that he loves her and she is secure there versus saying, I deserve better and I'm going to get better for herself on the market because she doesn't feel she's good enough to find someone else. And that's a shame to see. And here's what this is what she's also done. And I think ladies, y'all can understand when I say this. Here's what happens with projects like John. You spend so much time trying to fix him and motivate him, you ignore yourself. And then what happens yourself is
along the way.
The light bulb goes off. The light bulb finally goes off with him. He starts to improve himself and do better. Then he looks at you talking about like, I could do better than you, and then he leaves you for another chick, and you just fixed him for the next broad.
I completely agree. And last night, I stumbled upon something with Heidi. Okay, so you know how we all been wondering why is she down in Megan is down in Tina basement with John, right? And remember Johnny said Tina want her best friend there, right? Heidi said on a live when she was asking Vanessa about if Megan is in Tina basement and stuff like that, she said yes. And she's like, why is she in the basement? And Vanessa said that Megan has helped Tina through some really tough times and been there for her, with helping her with her kids. So I said, so what you're telling me is that Johnny left her before for another man, and Megan and John moved into the basement to help her with the mortgage and the kids while he was out there with the other woman, because it was too fucking easy for him to say, I'm out if Tina don't change, and she want her friend there. So Megan being there is a reminder of how he left his wife and children before. That's why he don't like Megan up in his house.
Oh, damn. So basically, Megan is Tina's security blanket.
Uh-huh.
Oh. So going off of your theory here,
and Megan is also her cock blocker, because she will never fully trust Johnny again for the betrayal of leaving her before.
Okay.
And that's why she keeps Megan there.
Let's go along with that thought process. So this tells me, going off of this theory, like I said, this tells me that Tina does not fully trust Johnny not to leave her again.
Bam. Because she hasn't forgiven him. She might have said she did, but emotionally she didn't.
That makes a lot of sense.
It could also be why Tina's the one leading the charge with regards to Megan and John's relationship, because she know her own relationship has fatal flaws. And she's probably like projecting onto, not projecting, but like, I guess she doesn't want her friend to wind up in the same situation that she's in.
Right.
But yeah, that's what I stumbled into last night. You know, my theories on this show, and these are all my opinions, so I don't know if they're true or not, but they're so much better than the storyline that's going on that we're watching.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong on this one, because here's the thing, when you start looking at analyzing and really look at, when you take the reality out of the TV, out of reality TV, and look at the reality based on reality and how real world works, this is completely plausible.
I never got over his confessional where it was so fucking easy for him to say, I'm out. You're going to walk away from your wife of 2 decades plus 4 kids at a critical time where everything is gone wrong with your home. It was so easy for you to say you out. I didn't trust Johnny from then.
But you've always said that, though. You've always maintained that stance, that I don't trust him because you've always said that it was too easy for him to just say, I'm out, peace, yada yada yada. But you've always said that. Like, you never wavered from that.
But could you imagine your spouse just spouting that? I was just like, wait. So for you to say that to me tells me you already got one foot out the door, and her name is Jezebel. That's all I'm saying.
You've always said that. You did not like that. You said, like, I don't like that. It doesn't sound right. What's going on? Like, it was too easy.
Okay, so Sunway says, it feels like Tina doesn't get any help from Johnny with their kids. That must be why she's overwhelmed and don't get any time for herself. Yes. And when Chris spoke to her at the end, everything for me in this episode was the end of the episode. Okay. I didn't care about the beginning, the fight on the balance beams, the crying out Cooter on the bike. I didn't care about none of that. The Ashley fighting and cussing them out and kicking them out of the room at 6 a.m. in the morning. Bullshit. it was the last part where they got to Chris's one-on-one with them, talking about what their goals are for themselves and all of that. I didn't care about nobody else. Well, no, I did. I cared about Vanessa. I thought Ashley saying she want a baby, that's bullshit. Megan, I don't even remember what she said. I didn't care. By that time, I was tuned out with her. But when it got to Tina, when it got to Vanessa saying that she want to be a regular person and be able to get up out of the bed in the morning without rocking and all of that, I was like, wow. But then when they got to Tina, and Tina was like, Tina let it all out. And Tina said, that woman saw me for me. The dam broke for her. And she was like in autopilot going over to the pool. And I was like, girl, you scared of life. And you going over the pool. And then she stripped down to her undies. And I was like, is she going to jump in the pool? Can she swim? What's going on?
That was my main question. Can you swim, ma'am?
But no, but it's at night. It's in a gated area. She go into the water. Does she know how to swim? Like all of these, like I was developing her fears of life for her. But something broke in that woman. Something broke in that woman. A realization was had. Something that Chris said to her made the light bulb go on. And I was here for it, because I will sit here and watch these shows if I see progression, if I see some sort of movement. I don't want to see no backsliding. And I was here with Tina. Last season, I wasn't feeling Tina. This season, I'm all on board the Tina train. All on board. Tina, that explains why Tina walks around with that ugly resting bitch face mug too. Yup. Some way says it feels like Tina don't get any help. Yup, I agree with that. So I went too far back. Silver Goddess, he's here for the check. Ryan says I might have to rewatch it. Don't waste your time with the first part. Just go to the end. Where they're sitting there with it's evening time, and they're sitting there with Chris, and they're all sitting on that deck, and Chris is talking to them, asking them about their goals. Something broke for Tina, and I'm wondering if it's a realization, because she was talking about she's tired of trying to be perfect for her family and the stress of being perfect. She's probably trying to fit this mold that like what she thinks Johnny want in a woman, and is failing desperately in her head, when she should realize that Johnny should want her for being her, just plain old Tina.
Right.
That's probably the source of all her issues, trying so hard to save a marriage that probably ended years ago.
Doesn't need to be saved.
Yeah, well, the first time he left. That's just my theory. Right. That's just my theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but it just feels like that. I feel like she has been abandoned before.
Right.
And she's fighting so hard to keep something that the person who's supposed to be her partner, I don't think is very interested in keeping.
You could be right. But I think with her, I think what's going on with her is this. It feels like no one actually listens to her when she talks. If that makes sense. Like, she could say the same thing to someone else and no one's listening, or they're listening, but Chris actually talks back to her and lets her know, like, hey, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. And most importantly, I can see you. I think she feels visible in her marriage, in her family, and sometimes in her friendships. Because Megan is a very selfish individual. And when you try to talk to Megan, she doesn't listen, because it's supposed to be all about Megan. How many times do you think Megan sits down there and actually listens to Tina? Tina plays Megan's mom on a full-time basis.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. Tina says, food addiction masks and numbs feelings just like drug or alcohol. Tina's facing the real issues without the numbing effects of her addiction. I know, I've been there and done it. Wow, Tina, thank you for sharing that. You know, maybe that's why she keeps on yo-yoing up and down on that 10 pounds that she can't seem to get rid of. Tina seems like she carrying everybody's burden. I hope she finds happiness. I really do, because I agree with you. She does have that resting bitch face. I would like to see her come into her own and flourish and be happy and be successful and get rid of that bum that's in her basement and in her bedroom. Get rid of all the bums. But that's what I took away from this. We could go over the top of it if you like. What'd you think about Ashley like cussing everybody out at 6 o'clock in the morning? I know it couldn't have been me.
I mean, okay.
It was unnecessary.
It was an unpopular opinion, but here's the thing: first of all, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's start there. Let's start there. And she said she didn't want to go. Leave her alone. Let her do her thing. Excuse me. I understand that she brought y'all there, but still, leave her alone.
Okay, but here's the thing. It wasn't the best friends that was waking her up. It was the trainer. It was the trainer. And what did you expect? Within 5 minutes of arriving, bitch, they had you doing push-ups, sit-ups, and squats and walking halfway across the farm. You didn't think that they were late when they came at 6 a.m. because, bitch, they should have had you up at 4 a.m. milking cows or something.
Not milking cows.
I'm just saying. They probably keep farmers' hours out there on that ranch. I would not have been surprised. And why you ain't take it out on the trainer, but you took it out on your friends? That was a punk ass move to me, because it was the trainer who came in there with the bullhorn saying, everybody get up, we need to go. But yet you gonna curse out your friends, and you had enough gumption to hop out of that bed real fucking quick and toss everybody else out of your room and then slam yourself back down into the bed. Which means to me that you could have hopped your musty ass up and gone and done the people's exercises. She ain't had not a backache or ankle ache or nothing like that when she was cussing them out and throwing them out of the bedroom.
That's a fair point.
Just saying. Okay, so Ryan says, it's interesting the 2 large episodes with Vanessa and Megan came on last night, and Megan had a different attitude and was the supportive friend of Vanessa who was struggling. But listen, okay, so glad you brought up that point, because when we get to the balance beam challenge, and wasn't that young trainer Hunter quite handsome? Wasn't he handsome though? But I digress. Anywho, so they start going on, and she gets a splinter. Oh my God, the end of the world. Call 911, bring in the paramedics, bring the Narcan on, resuscitate her. She got a fucking splinter. All right. So they start arguing because Vanessa touched her, whatever. Vanessa started cheering her, whatever. So she said it herself. Megan screamed it out that Vanessa always want to be the center of attention. Didn't I tell y'all? Megan wants to be the belle of this ball, and there's no other room on that throne but for her. In her mind, she thinks that she is the queen bee of this show, and she is jealous of Vanessa because more people like her, meaning Vanessa, than they do Megan. And it all came out on the balance beam. That's all I saw. That's all I saw. And then you saw Tina and Ashley saying how embarrassing. That would have been me. That would have been me.
So if she's like, you're dragging me down, you're pulling me down, I'm like, no, she's not.
She was just standing there. Was she touching her? Yes. But she wasn't pulling her back. She was trying to get her balance.
Exactly.
She's trying to get her balance. You know, whatever. Was it bad of me that when she was trying to stand up on the deck, I was hoping she was going to fall backwards? I'm just saying. I wonder if Johnny and Tina got together because she was pregnant or something like that. Probably. Yes, that I could see myself on MILF Manor if Hunter was there. If Ashley was hurt, that's what ibuprofen is for. Yeah, or get an ice pack like what Megan had. I don't get it. Yep, Megan was pouting like a little kid. Oh, and we had a whole discussion about her hair last night. We think it's either she's suffering hair loss because of PCOS. I hope I remember that correctly, or a combination of medications. Work meeting. Have a good day. Oh, thanks, Tina, for joining us. Have fun at work. Tina. I need to look back and check out Hunter. Yes, he was the trainer that was organizing the balance beam stuff. He's a little cutie patootie. What else happened after that? Then the girls made up over lunch, I think, or breakfast. Wait, they went to spinning class after the lady came in. I think they had a meal. Then they did the challenge with the balance beam, and then they went for lunch. Okay, so they made up over lunch from the balance beam fiasco. The bicycle stuff, the spin class.
Okay.
Good for Vanessa.
Here's my whole thing, though. I'm sorry, but when I used to take spin classes, I cannot handle that seat. I had to go get me a nice little gel seat, give me some little special little spin shoes. Then I can enjoy the ride. And as you take spin classes, if you don't have the shoes, it's easier to do the class sitting down because your feet aren't hitting those straps. But if you have the shoes, spin class is much easier standing up and pedaling because that seat is murder.
But aren't there like padded shorts to help with that?
You can do gel seats or the padded shorts. Yes, either one. But for me, I needed something.
Yeah, well, I did relate to Megan when she said that her cooter was hurting. I could understand that because, well, I noticed that they weren't doing the up, down thing that I see in the spin classes that I completely ignore and walk on by like it is an allergic reaction. I've never done a spin class, nor do I want to, because I have an appreciation for my cooter, and I'm not going to abuse it like that. And that's all I have to say about it. But kudos to Vanessa because she was going at it like crazy. I was hoping that Megan would have knocked herself out with her breasts. Like, what was going on there? Tina, as usual, was just doing what Tina does. And Ashley, when she finally got up and came around, she sort of put in an effort. Whatever. Vanessa was killing it, and I know it wasn't easy with all that extra belly skin sitting on her thighs. Yup. That had to be a lot, but look, she is really trying. She is trying her best. She's not complaining about anything that she has to eat. She's going with the flow, and she's appreciating how far she's come. Because remember when they was doing the walk on the first day, and she was like, I could have never done this before. And now look at me. And then one of the other girls said, well, now we got to walk back. And she's like, well, I'm ready. Like, there's no challenge that you put in front of her where she cowers away from it. Even with the balance beam, she's the one who said that she broke something as a child on a balance beam.
She was pushed.
Yeah, and she was crying at some points of it, saying she's so scared. But she put her trust into the other people that was doing the exercise with her, and then was even trying to help her friend who totally threw it back in her face. I would stop doing anything for Megan. Like, oh God. Anywho, I just see her. She's one of these people that I have yet to see her shy away from or back down from any sort of challenge that you put in front of her. She's got a really good perspective on things. I can appreciate her. Someway says, I saw some blonde hair. I didn't see bald head on Megan. I think Megan may be blonde. I was thinking so too. She has very, very fine hair. I do think though that she has some patchy areas. I do. I also suspect that she is a blonde, a natural blonde. But I think it's a whole bunch of things put together for Megan. But I've been watching it with each episode, and each episode I suspect she has very fine hair. I feel she's probably a natural blonde and darkens her hair color. And I think that there are some light patches in her scalp. She broke her leg up to her hip. Yeah. Wow. What else happened after that?
Oh, that's when we talked about earlier, but that's when they sat her down and was talking about the man. Yeah.
I don't know why she's so resistant to hearing anybody speaking to her. Like, she can preach to these women, but when they voice any sort of concern to her, she's very resistant. And I'm not understanding why that is if these are supposed to be your friends. It doesn't make sense to me. Hold on. Ryan says the gastric surgery does sometimes make you vitamin deficient, so you have to take supplements. Yes. And Tina, who left us a little bit ago, she mentioned last night in Heidi's show that sometimes right after the surgery, up to the 6 months part, you do have some hair loss. And I guess that goes with the vitamin deficiencies that you have to get balanced out in that first 6 months period. But according to Tina, who's gone through this, she's past that 6 months part. So other people in the chat were theorizing that it could be a combination of medicines. We also discussed PCOS, the fine hair, the hair dye, being blonde. We discussed all of this last night. Maybe Megan feels loyal to him because he took care of her when she was nearly immobile. Did he, though? He was with her. Oh, yeah, because they've been together for 12 years. But this man allowed her to pee on pee pads in the morning. That's taking care of her. That's taking care of, like, when you say taking care of her, how so? Was he just bringing in groceries and cooking for her? Because if like, okay, so I take care of my mother, but I would not allow her to get out of bed in the morning and pee on pee pads on the floor. So I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Interesting. Interesting. I've never seen any passion in their relationship from last season. To me, they're both just squatters. But okay. That's Tina's problem, not mine. And Tina knows why she has her best friend and her fiance living up in her basement, and why her husband is so willing to leave. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, okay. So it seemed like she couldn't get around very far before her surgery, and she was on oxygen too. Wow. Wow. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So they made up. They talked at the altar. Megan had another hissy fit and told them basically stay out of her life. Great. And then we had the breakthrough with Chris at the end of the episode. Okay, so
Right.
Ryan says, in Too Large, Megan and Johnny had their own home. So I don't see why they can't do that now. Oh. Interesting. So Megan and her fiance had their own home. They were not in Tina's basement. So something happened between Too Large and this show for Megan to wind up in Tina's basement. And I bet you anything, it had to do with Tina's husband and their marriage. Interesting. But that, I think we've covered everything in the episode, haven't we, Jamal?
Yes.
All right, y'all. Let us know your thoughts on this episode. Let me know in the comment section what you think about my theory regarding Tina and her husband and Megan and her fiance being inside of that house together. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Johnny is going to make it to season 3? What's supposed to happen next week? All we saw was her going towards the pool. Did we see anything else, Jamal?
No. I don't remember anything else, to be honest. There was a trailer and I watched it, but I didn't see anything of note.
So they really left us hanging.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. Although I am curious because they left us hanging with Tina going to the pool.
Right.
In her underwear. Which was a cute little matching set. Good on Tina. But can you imagine Tina stripping down this season, and last season she was like yelling at Vanessa for getting naked up at the glamping? Remember?
Right. Yep.
What a difference a season makes. Good for you, Tina. I sure did. All right, y'all. Jamal, any final thoughts on this mess?
No, we're good to go.
Wait, we don't even know how much longer they're going to be on the farm. They're leaving. This was their last night having this last recap with Chris.
They should be leaving tomorrow.
So they're leaving tomorrow. Tina's having a breakthrough tonight, though, and that's what they left us with.
Proctor. That's what it is. Ashley goes to see Proctor after they get back from the Fit Farm. That's what it is.
Okay. So wait. Yes, I was just going to say that, Debbie. That was a very nice set. Oh, it was cute. I liked it. So do you think that Ashley's lost any weight with the way how she be punking out of everything?
I mean, it looks like they barely ate. And it was really exercising, so I'm sure she lost some weight.
They barely ate. So you think that because they starved them, but they had like, okay, so the breakfast thing, that was like a little breakfast burrito, and they had like a piece of lettuce, and a good lettuce, not like, iceberg, And that was like what? Fruit? Or at first I thought it was potato, the white cubes.
Probably
But then I
cantaloupe.
said, yeah, probably cantaloupe. But that no, cantaloupe is orange.
Honeydew's orange.
And honeydew is supposed to be like a greenish. That was white. That looked like boiled potato.
It could be.
Or pears. Maybe it's pear. But who could be peeling a pear?
Right.
Ryan thinks it's apples or pears. I hope that there was more exercise than what we were shown. That was a lot of exercise that I don't know about y'all, but that made me tired. But I'm allergic to exercise. But you think about it, as soon as you arrived, you were doing push-ups, sit-ups, and then they did something else, and then they went walking. And then the next day it was biking or spinning, and then walking the plank, and then they went out and walked out to the wedding thing. And so yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot for me. I was good. I was tired. I was worn out. Maybe last season Tina had more marriage problems. That must be why Tina is such a prude. Maybe.
Could be. That's a fair point.
Maybe she's not doing the things that Johnny need her to be doing.
I mean,
but Jezebel is.
I was about to say maybe Tina, maybe when they were younger and got married, it was cute that Tina was like modest and approved. But maybe as Johnny's gotten older, like he's become more adventurous. And like you said, maybe.
But
you saying?
Like someone said in the chat, when was that first kid born? Did
Right.
they have to get married because she was pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what the awakening is, and if it's Johnny leaves on his own or if he's escorted out.
Right.
I would be real happy if he was escorted out. All right, Jamal, any final thoughts on this episode?
Nope, 2 down, 1 to go.
Okay, so guys, join us at the top of the hour. We'll be talking about our favorite Housewives franchise for now, The Real Housewives of Miami. Bring your notes, bring your mojitos. We're going to do some day drinking. All right, y'all. Until next time, Jamal.
Of course.
Oh my God, Sunway. Johnny ain't handsome. All right, so we'll see you next time. Bye.